Welcome back to my music lessons, Music Theory Introduction to Triads Part 3 by joellukamasia. In the previous lesson, I was talking about major and minor triads. And in this lesson, we'll be talking about the augmented and diminished triads. So I will suggest that if you're a beginner, you should go back and watch my lessons on intervals. Then watch my intervals part 1 to part 3. Then watch lessons on part 1 on triads and part 2 on my YouTube channel. Just to look at the videos and so that you can come to this one. Now, let us talk about our lesson today. Triads, augmented and diminished triads. So I'll be focusing on augmented and diminished triad. So what is an augmented triad? An augmented triad has an interval distance of a major third from the root to the third, and an interval distance of a major third from the third to the fifth. And finally, it has an interval distance of an augmented fifth from the root to the fifth. So an augmented interval, what is happening, if you compare it to a major interval, the only difference here is that it has you raise the fifth. The fifth is raised to make a major third from the third to the fifth. And from the root to the fifth, it becomes, when you raise the fifth, it becomes an augmented fifth. So an augmented triad has an augmented interval of a fifth. You can note that one. Now, to construct an augmented interval, you just need to know that from the root to the third, you have to have an interval distance of a major third. From the root to the fifth, an augmented fifth. And from the third to the fifth, a major third. That will be an augmented triad. An example of an augmented triad here, for example, you have C as the root, E as the third, and G sharp as the fifth. C, E, and G sharp. So you'll notice that the distance from C to E is a major third, from C to G sharp is an augmented fifth, and from E to G sharp is a major third. Diminished triads. Diminished triads, on the other hand, have an interval distance of a minor third from the root to the third, and an interval distance of a minor third from the third to the fifth, third to the fifth, and an interval of a diminished fifth from the root to the fifth. This means that from the root to the fifth, you are lowering, the fifth is lowered. If you compare a diminished interval to a minor interval, you notice that they both have a minor third from the root to the third, but the only difference here is that a diminished fifth, you have a minor third from the root to the fifth, meaning the fifth of a minor scale. If you lower the fifth of a minor triad, if you lower the fifth of a minor triad, you get a diminished triad. So a diminished triad as a root to the third is a minor third, third to the fifth a minor third interval, and then from the root to the fifth you have a diminished fifth. An example for diminished triad. Here, for example, we have from A. You have from A, C, and E flat. From A to C is a minor third. Then from C to E flat is also a minor third. And then from A to E flat, you'll get the distance is a diminished fifth. Now this means that a diminished triad is you just take a minor triad and reduce the fifth by a semitone, you get a diminished triad. And that is the end of our lesson today. I want to thank you for watching this lesson. I'll be creating a video on oral test, ear training test on triads, the diminished and the augmented triads. Kindly subscribe to this channel, leave a comment, and also you can like. Let us meet during the next lesson.